Welcome in Cyprus. What are the first impressions so far from the island? Your first time here from what
So I will say the people are extremely friendly. I found everybody is friendly and they're smiling and happy, and maybe it's the good warm weather you have here.
Can you tell us a bit about the conference that you will be participating in the University of Cyprus?
Yes, it's around entrepreneurship and innovation, and specifically what I'll be talking about is how you commercialize university technologies. How do you take research from the university and actually have that spin out of the university into startup companies that can produce new products and services?
Mm-hmm. Is there a specific model that students might use that it's tested and it works?
Yeah, I think there are. I think we've been doing this for about 15 years now at MIT, and I think there are some things we've found that really work or that are very important if you're going to go through this process on commercializing technology. It's, making sure you obviously understand the technology very well, but also understand the market and understand the customers so you know what they need.
Mm-hmm. Other than that, what are the current sectors that are very popular and they work and they produce money when it comes to entrepreneurship right now?
Well, what you see is a lot of people today are looking at, mobile apps, software, the internet, but what we see and what we work on are much broader things. So you can be looking at any technologies, medical, energy, materials, electronics, software. So I think there's a huge range of opportunities. And especially when you're looking at stuff coming out of university, it's not just about software and applications and the internet.
Mm-hmm. What is the latest idea that you've seen and you were really impressed about? What was that project?
So, it's hard to pick one. Right now we have 25 active projects in our center, and they're everything from medical to different types of electronics to different types of materials. So I think there's just a huge number. What always impresses me is how these bright students and faculty come up with new ideas in areas where you think, well, there's nothing new that they can come up with, and they always come up with new things.
Even though someone would say that we have an internationalized environment nowadays when it comes to business, what type of ideas should be Cypriots that live in an island be looking at when it comes to such ideas?
I think that the first thing is if they're living here, what they have to think of is they have to think of the worldwide market. So not just think of Cyprus as the market, because there could be, and I'd say there could be a very small problem that they're solving, but if you can solve it for people around the world, you can be very competitive. So that's the key, is find markets where, you also want to find markets where it's not going to take a huge amount of investment to get there, so that the investment is modest, but that you can find something very specific that people all over the world would be interested in.
Mm-hmm. And lastly, funding. It's the most important thing when it comes to build a project. Yes. These days. How should new students and new people, young people, approach this factor when it comes to entrepreneurship?
So funding is always an issue, and I don't know what the funding situation is like in Cyprus, but there's going to be other funds from local other countries nearby that may be interested, whether it would be Greece, Europe, Israel is close by, there's funds there. What we found, though, is that if you have something that's really good and you've done your homework and you understand the market, you understand the technology, you can be very convincing to the people who are going to invest. So that's the key. The key is not just say, oh, I'm going to look out for money and it's hard to get money, but do your homework, come up with a very, very compelling package of information, and you can find the money. The money will be there.
Yeah, so good homework brings confidence, and confidence will pursue eventually.
Well, it's not just confidence. You know, investors are smart. They want to see the information. They want to see the data. Can you show them very compelling data? If you can show them compelling data, they can look at this and say, wow, we could see how this will succeed. And also it gives them confidence that you can do it. If you could, so the confidence is not just that the entrepreneur needs to be confident, but will the investors be confident about the entrepreneur?